Pop open the special brew. Big Stevie Bruce is out the door and off to write some more mystery novels. Human rights, they're out. Horse fights, they are certainly all the way in. Tyneside is bumping, the tuna jumping, and you know Quacky ain't going to miss out on this party. Welcome to the FIFA 22 Newcastle United. More money, less problems, no conscious rebuild. Boys! Let's get into it, and welcome back to another episode of Quackers TV with me, your host QTV. Emphasis on the QT, because you know I damn well am one. So as you can see, I only gave myself 100 million. I didn't want to make it too easy, to be honest. I could have just slapped the 250 million they're meant to have, but as their new Saudi brethren have said, they're only going to get about 250 million to spend over the coming 5 or so years, and a lot of that is going to go into infrastructure. I thought I'd be somewhat realistic, even if this isn't going to be the most realistic career mode. Stevie Bruce's 4-4-2 out the door. A lot more players are going to be out the door soon too, don't you worry. This will definitely not be my final squad. As you can see, I make do getting rid of all the deadwood, which is unfortunately about 90% of the squad. But boys, soon the Newcastle fans are up in arms again. And you wonder why? Well, call me Harry Potter, because Lord Voldemort has been vanquished once again. But I know why you boys are really here. It is about the signings. Who will Newcastle be signing? Haaland, Mbappe. I told you it's going to be realistic. Anthony, ASM, he needs a partner out wide. He needs another tricky winger to take some of the pressure off of him. Anthony, 21 years old, and boys and girls, I think most of you know about Anthony. If you don't, you're going to get to know. Keep an eye on this lad throughout the video, because I promise you, this man is going to be the greatest player with a first name starting with A to ever set foot at St James's Park. Now sponsored by Sports Washing, I guess, because it's no longer sponsored by Sports Direct. Aralan Shuhamani next. And a lot of you are going to be thinking of these last two signings. They're young players with their whole careers ahead of them. Why would they ever sign for Newcastle United? Obviously we saw that Miguel Miran, you know, we're just going to brush over that, but this is why.
Go buy your mama a house. Go buy your whole family houses. Put this money in your savings account. Go spend some money for no reason. Come back and ask for more.
After this tweet, this next sale was a teeny tiny bit awkward, but his replacement, I promise you Newcastle fans, you are going to love him. We needed some experience at the back. These next two signings provide that. First, from Man United, the backup left back, the sort of player Newcastle should really be targeting. Alex Telles is an excellent player, and he's in a rotation option. He might be looking to come to a team like Newcastle, make his name, and kind of take that one last big paycheck and one last move. This one, I mean, you never know with players. Vladimir Coufal might be a money-hungry thought, but you never know, he might be. So, Vladimir Coufal, like says, they will lock down those wings for the next 2 years. But my next signing, boys and girls, all I can say is be excited, because well and truly we have.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Robert Holding, Jamal Lascelles. Why would you run at them? Those two twin towers, maybe not the twin towers. Those two boys are going to be locking down that centre back. Rob Holding, a long-term Newcastle. Yeah, I signed Rob Holding because I couldn't think of anyone else to sign. Not realistic. Yeah, peace, thank you. Anyway, as you can see, the team it's looking decent. Freddie Woodman in goal. He's probably going to peak before I'd like, but the rest of them, absolutely young players, huge potential, experience where it's needed. Let's see how we do first season in. So 11th isn't exactly ideal. Don't worry about the Carabao Cup, and Callum Wilson scored 6 goals. Not only that, but the team, their development is going about as well as these special needs kids trying to be taught their times tables. Chuhamani literally hasn't even grown one. And yes, I'm actually pronouncing Chuhamani's name right. It is a miracle. But let's see, how do we do? Do we improve? Do we make something of this season, or are they going to be protesting me next? Stefan Bruce is going to get another year in the squad. I wanted top 10. That's all I aimed for, 8th place. And not just that, I wanted some development. Players like Anthony to get huge. Saint Maximin, Joe Willock. I wanted their growth. This was a season to make them, to get them ready for the European push. And it's fair to say, they got there. I'm proud of the boys. Anthony up 5 ratings, boys. I'm telling you, that boy is a 90 rated player or bust. Now, straight up, I will rename my channel Sally TV. Because you can slap me silly and call me Sally if he doesn't get to 90 rated. Callum Wilson, he's going to have to go, to be honest. He's just not worth it. And on to season 2. I said we needed a striker, and boys, did we get one. I've already mentioned it once, but I'm going to say it again. Strikers with a first name starting with A, they tend to go well on Tyneside. So I thought, why not sign the young'un who slapped Spain, the second place team in the Nations League? Not once, but twice. Alexander Isak, welcome to St James's Park at sportswashing.com. Yes, we got rid of Callum Wilson. Yes, we spent most of our budget. And yes, I would be regretting it when I saw this next bit of news. Someone, whilst I'd been simulating, had paid Isaac Hayden's release clause. That team being Real San Sebastian, so I guess they got a little bit of revenge for us signing Isaac off of him. And finding his replacement wasn't exactly easy. Until a young gem many of you may not have heard of, Renato Sanchez, an unknown player. Many of you may have never heard his name, even though he used to play for Bayern Munich. At Everton, Rafa Benitez, he did his old club a favour. He gave me a deal on him, and Renato Sanchez completes the team going into season 2. But boys and girls, it's time to see how would they do. Second place, just 8 points is kind of a lot, but 1 game in hand off of those Scousers up north. The best home record in the Premier League versus the best away record in Premier League. I don't think Newcastle have ever had that record, so Geordies, you are absolutely welcome. Those Scouse bastards were going to get it taken up on though. Alan St. Maximin, get your dicks out. Newcastle fans helicopter dicking in preparation for the finish. Couldn't quite get it done though. But we kept coming with Vladimir Sufel, who found...
Oh my goodness gracious!
Alexander Isak for the bicycle kick. Papa Cisse once scored one of the greatest goals in Premier League history. And that, to be fair, probably doesn't compare well to it because that goal was literally ridiculous. But Isak scored a pretty good goal too. So, you know, good for you, Alexander. We are proud. 1-0. The Liverpool fans in absolute agony. But before they start speaking about conspiracy theories, I've got one of my own, because this ball doesn't cross the line. I'm sorry, this ball does not cross the line. The FA, the FBI, MI6, they are conspiring against Quacky and his Newcastle powers. As you can see, that ball is clearly cleared off of the line. That ball did not go in. I want to recount. Donald Trump was right. The government, they are broken, or whatever he said. He's a weird lad. It's a fix. Kyrie Irving...
Justice cannot be stopped!
Kyrie Irving definitely wasn't right, as a dickhead. But justice, as they have just said, has prevailed. Alan St. Maximin with his goal. Dicks out for St. Max. The Newcastle fans already helicopter dicking because these foolish little bitches couldn't handle us. Isak makes it 3-1.
Nothing left.
Damn right you don't. And most good people would have stopped there, but I ain't good people. You tried to fix this game. You tried to conspire against me. Well, you deserve the 4-2 barracks. They scored 1 more. 4-goal battering they got. It didn't matter, as they would go on to win the league and we would fall off harder than... Let's see who... Amir Zaki. That's a name you probably haven't heard in a while. Amir Zaki. Amir Zaki was a baller, man. That guy was the penalty king. There is no chance he wasn't called a Scorpion King by someone, and I feel like there's potential to get someone cancelled. Unless you're Graham Souness, because that guy's immune to cancelling. That man has said some mad shit. But before we get on to Season 3 and my 170 million hefty budget, this video has taken like 2 full days to edit, so if you guys could smash all of those buttons down below, I'd really appreciate it. And yes, I'm trying to change the subject because I'm replacing Jamal Lascelles. Sorry, all Newcastle fans. Yes, Jamal Lascelles has done a great job so far, but Nordi Mukwele, I'm sure, will do an absolute bang-up job in his place. You might have noticed I've focused on signing a lot of French players thus far. It's Newcastle, obviously. Another right wing back would follow Nordi through the doors though. Reece James. You can tell by the signings now. This is where we start pushing. Nordi Mukwele 84, Reece James 84. And it doesn't stop there. Obviously it's cost a pretty penny, but we're Newcastle United. We got one. Up next on the signing board though, Owen Windle. Yes, Kufal, Tellers, Lascelles, they're all being replaced. I know it's going to upset some of you, but we needed to now make that push for the Champions League. And they'd stagnated, to be honest. There wasn't much more I could do. Not just that, Martin Dubravka at 33 years of age. We all know once you pass 30, you're shit on any football game, apparently, according to Football Manager. Dominic Livakovic would come in for around 45 million. But this is where the bad news starts. I know, but wait till you see. Yeah, exactly, you two-faced little bunch of pricks. Jack Grealish replaces Joe Willock, who we did sell. I know a lot of people would want to see Joe Willock go through most for this, but we got an offer that literally was too good to refuse. And here is why. 3rd place in the league, 9 points off of City, isn't ideal, but we're looking pretty decently placed for Champions League football, and with the Europa League group done comfortably through. If anyone else told you otherwise, they are fibbing. They are telling big fibs, they are big fat phonies, and you do not believe them. I'm telling you, yeah, you do not believe them. It was comfortable. Speaking of comfortable, we've got a Europa League group game now coming up against Tottenham. And in the history of Tottenham, they tend to bottle these. So instead of commentating on it, I'm just going to read you some extracts from Steve Bruce's book for you to enjoy. Okay? So, this is about a lad called Malik who he's recently met. He was a rotund man with a happy face. Needed to lose a couple stone. Jawline not firm enough. The inner door opened. 2 girls entered, carrying trays. They were followed by Malik's wife and his mother. Everybody wanted to greet the visitor. I stood up, trying to be polite. "Sit down," Malik said. "Don't give them ideas." "Ideas? ? Woman's liberation. I have the same trouble at home, I said, trying to be polite. I'd asked for a cup of coffee. I was confronted by a variety of sweet and savoury sweets. It's just beautiful. As we go on to the penalty shootouts, I will continue because I feel like this is much more interesting than any football ever will be. Steve Bruce's next chapter would go on to say about a man who's unfortunately passed, a famous groundsman in Steve Bruce's Novelia world. When Malik asked, I explained the circumstances of Sam's death. May Allah protect him in the life to come. I replied, Mashallah bro, may he rest peacefully on the Rupperdingy Rapids. That may have been added by me. Finally, in Steve Bruce's definitely not racist book, he took up the car keys and made for the front door. Let's go. Aren't you going to tell your wife? What? That you're going out? And give her ideas? Make her think she's equal? His eyes twinkled as he spoke. I suspected that in this house, the woman was really in charge. We'll go in your Jag, he said. Let's see what kind of motor it is. It's just beautiful. What's going on? Oh god, this is kind of close. Sorry, I got a bit distracted in Steve Bruce's book. I'll hopefully come back to that if we have some easier games. But as you can see, sudden death potentially on the rocks. Steve Bergwijn misses. Aurelien Tchouameni with the chance to send us through, you absolute wet wipe prick. Venegas would bury it in the top corner, putting all of the pressure On to Reece James, but you know, he is Reece James bitch. Barry said, yes, I can time penalties, and yes, I did just not take my penalties properly to add some tension. Ollie Skip would surely be skipping rocks in the morning. He would surely be stacked for that. Lee Evans, Lauren Evans, I don't really know. He's a youth prospect we signed because I know how to play with youth. I meant
Sorry.
my prospects, my youth prospects, you absolute weirdo. God. Seriously, as you can see, we would get comfortably through into the final of the Europa League. And as it's the Europa League and no one could give a toss, I think it's time for more chapters from Big Stevie Bruce's book. Who cares if it's Newcastle's first trophy in about 50 years? This is as Steve Barnes. I know Steve Barnes, the main character in Steve Bruce's book, who, if you didn't know, is a manager from Upper Yorkshire. I know. It's definitely not Steve Bruce living in his own world. But anyway, Steve Bruce is trapped, handcuffed, and about to be drugged. He snapped the top from a file very quick and neat, just like a doctor or a nurse. He drew the fluid into the syringe, then he leaned over me. He wasn't even going to roll up my sleeve. This wasn't a hospital routine. I couldn't expect tea and biscuits afterwards. With that stuff inside me, I wouldn't know if I was on a ship or a chicken farm. I had to do something, and I had to do it quickly. Yet there was nothing I could do. Nothing at all. Except the thing I know best. A sliding tackle. I may have been handcuffed, but my legs were free. He went down, I kicked out, I caught him on the jaw. He went out like a light for a tough terrorist. He had been very careless. Steve Bruce. Great manager, even better author. You've got to give it to the lad. How can you sack a man who can write a book with that much tension? Unfortunately, because, you know, we are going to be in Champions League next year, baby. That will be the end of the Steve Bruce Novelia reads for now. But Amanda Staveley has graciously given up some of her plastic surgery fund for us to sign Ruben Rui Diaz, the man from Man City. It's time for us to start plucking players from our rivals. And that's why I thought I'd pull a bit of a cheeky one on Barcelona. Jack Grealish, he was never going to be a long-term cam for me, but this man, the man many call Money Mace, just might be. About 60 million plus Jackie Grealish for an 89 rated Mason Mount. The team, just wait till you see the team that I'm about to show you, boys and girls. It is absolutely fantastic. But for now, how did they... Is that Burnley?
What?
We're below Burnley in third place. At least we got out of the Champions League groups and only have Sporting Lisbon to play. But as I said, look at the team. Alan St. Maximin, the only holdout in the front four from the 90 rated gang. I promised you Anthony would get there. And thankfully, I don't have to call myself Sally, but boys and girls, it is time for Champions League football. Sporting CP, Newcastle United, Champions League away nights, and they're feeling awfully good. 3-1 in the first leg. But before we could see what happens in the second, it was time for us to go to the Milk Cup final. Man City, our opponents, the Sky Blues. Hopefully we can make the rain pour down on them. But Anthony, with shots like that, just isn't going to get you very far, lad. Especially when Ferran Torres can do that.
I'm retarded?
Yay, but we come forward. Ruben Diaz driving forward. He finds the breaking run of Anthony himself to redeem himself. Many call Christ the Redeemer, but I'm saying it's Anthony right now. Yes, I am giving the Party Marty theme. Anthony the Redeemer gives us parity, makes it 1-1, and we keep on marching forward. Owen Winder would find Money Mace, but that man certainly went bankrupt right there. We would have to keep fighting. 45 minutes on the clock. Mason Mount bottles enough one. That man is going broke.
I don't get nervous.
but I'm starting to get a bit shaky, you know what I mean? I'm a little bit weak.
Newcastle United going toe-to-toe with Man City, looking like Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury, and the Alexander Isak, the man we signed to lead our attack into a brighter future, a better future. And if you live in Saudi Arabia, that usually, I'm assuming, means one without women. And yes, I'm going to take this moment in one of the biggest moments of the season so far to say the whole Newcastle United, I'm making jokes, but it genuinely is legit sports washing, and it's really fucked up that it went through. That's all I'm going to say on the subject, because I don't know enough about it, but seriously, it's genuinely really messed up. But anyway, Man City, 73 minutes on the back foot. Chouamani finds Isak, who can only sting the palms of Ederson in goal. Ederson looking like Eder Daddy, but Alan St. Maximin, he must have seen a whopper of the dick getting helicoptered in the crowd, because 88 minutes on the clock. We have just lost the Carabao Cup final because Vladimir Sufal, who is in for the suspended Reece James, decided to show off his new taekwondo skills in the 89th minute in his own box. He lobs his own keeper into the net. I generally can't believe this. EA Sports, what the hell, man? You're just a bunch of dirty bastards. You're absolute pricks. Screw you. I'm sorry. And yes, I'm not even going to hold out anymore. We would go on to lose this final because I lost my head. I nearly smashed my controller when I conceded that goal. In the 89th minute, I conceded that goal. Yes, I was pissed. And yes, Man City would go on to win the Carabao Cup. Honestly, I couldn't give a shit anymore. Like, what I even meant to say? Sufal's genuinely lucky I didn't. Right, let's just say Vladimir Sufal got treated like a horse in Tyneside after that match. Yeah, that's all we're going to say about it. We got to move on. We got a Champions League win. Sporting CP, we would scrape through with a 2-1 win. On to AC Milan, the team we already battered in the Europa League final. So to be honest, this one was never really in doubt. 3-1 in the first leg. Second leg coming straight up and going straight away. 1-1 we would get through. Scotty Longstaff, Sean Longstaff, there's too many of them.
I will love it if we beat them. Love it.
But Man City next. The team who has held us back from Premier League titles, held us back from Carabao Cups. All we've won is one Europa League, but with a 2-1 win in the first. They won't be keeping us back from Champions League glory. What do I always say? Get me there. Get me to Wembley. Get me to wherever the Champions League final is being contested, and I will win it. No, we didn't win the league. Yes, it was pretty close. Yes, I'm upset I never won the Premier League, but I am in the Champions League final. The team is looking great. Unfortunately, Alan St. Maximin is still teasing us with that 89 rated. I've had to take plenty of cold showers to deal with it. But boys, we're there. Champions League final, Newcastle United. Just 4 years it took. Santiago Munez about to play in the Champions League final. You couldn't write it. Alexander Isak, Anthony, St. Maximin, Mason Mount, the front four of dreams with over 70 goals between them. PSG may have Messi, they may have Mbappe, they may have Neymar, but one thing is sure, they may have the right to stand and get absolutely clotted by the boys from Newcastle. We're going to treat them like Sunderland treat relegation. We're going to go down on them and it ain't going to be pleasant. PSG though, to be fair, would start fast, they would start early, and they would certainly start hard, but our defence would stay as strong as ever and we would have chances of our own. St. Maximin, 12 minutes in, the chance to seal it.
Why you being a dickhead for? Stop being a dickhead.
It's pretty clear which one of our attackers is the detriment, isn't it? St. Maximin and Isaac, though, they would combine. Get St. Maximin through, a chance to write history, to put your name in lights, and Money Mason does it. St. Maximin and Mason Mount, probably the two that most bottled that Carabao Cup final, and I do include Sufal in that, even though he literally chipped our keeper in the 90th minute. But they combine ASM to Mason Mount to put us one up. Saudi Arabia versus Dubai. The Abu Dhabi, for sure. The oil derby, whatever you want to call it, is going in our favour. Hakimi taking wild slashes at the ball like that. He's looking about as accurate as my chat blinds. And he's hitting about as regularly too. We would come forward. Anthony with a great pass into Owen Windle. He's got Akers, he's got options, and he's got Saint Maximin. And certainly, boys and girls, it is time for Dicks out for ASM. I shouldn't have to explain this reference, but I will for those of you in the back. Saint Maximin once scored the winner in an FA Cup game, and a Newcastle fan got his dick out and started helicopter dicking. I'm not saying it for no reason. If you don't know what helicopter dicking is, good for you. Don't look it up. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. 2-0 to the boys. It's pretty clear right now Saudi Arabia do sports washing a little bit better than Dubai do. As St. Maximin manages to find aliens with that shot from about 2 yards away. I'm still not entirely sure how. But sometimes, lads, the game just goes your way. Things just seem to be going in your favour. And when Mbappe missed that one, and we got a breakaway, you could just tell the reason I always say get me their Money Mace running through to make it a brace. Yes, that accidentally ran. Called me for a spoof.
clanking, clattering collection
That's
of collisionous junk.
But Sanchez driving through. He already took a league and a title off of him with Lille. Look, it's people who scored, boys and girls. Just people who scored for Newcastle United in a Champions League final. Santiago Nunes just scored. You couldn't write that. You couldn't script Santiago Nunes scoring for Newcastle in any sort of big game, could you? They should make a movie about it. Maybe call it like Golasso or something. But Anthony would run through. And 82 minutes on the clock. Told you about him. Anthony would be the boy to lead us into greatness, and with the full-time whistle going, he does it. Newcastle United 2024, I want to say, Champions League winners, 4-0 against PSG, who for some reason are weirdly one of the easiest teams in this entire game to beat. Boys and girls, this video took me so long to edit, so if you could slap all of those buttons down below, maybe not the dislike one. I mean, if you did dislike the video, then feel free, but we will think you have a micro penis. For now, boys and girls, let me know who you want to see me rebuild next. Prepare your anuses, because Arsenal versus Everton for the Premier League will be coming out tomorrow. The final game of my Arsenal career mode season 1. But for now, as I always say, you've been a lovely audience. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.